Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about APB Season 1 Episode 2. It's called Personal Matters. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. I think it's pretty safe to say that we're not going to do any more of this.
Yeah.
We thought we'd try Episode 2 and see how it played out. And while it does have still some of the fun character interactions and some of the fun tech stuff that we liked about the first one, our suspicion is that it would mostly just feel like a typical cop show where they've got a case and they need to solve it by the end. It feels true. It feels that's what it is.
Yeah, and covering those just doesn't really interest us. It's not that it's bad.
Oh no, I think if you like cop shows, if you like a show where they've just got something every week and that's your thing, I think this is probably a more fun one than a lot of the
Yeah,
others.
it's a pretty good example of that style of show. It's just not something we're interested in talking about week to week.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it helps either. This episode, it felt especially sort of thin and manipulative. Because obviously the main plot is that we've got this robber who robs pharmacies and then drives off. The police, chase him.
I was convinced it was the same store as where his friend got shot.
Murphy,
They looked identical from what I remember.
Murphy's in pursuit, and of course Gideon's just in the car because why not? And the guy runs over a little girl, and it's like, oh, sad. Oh, Gideon's been shook to the core again, even though he was shook to the core in the first episode. He doesn't have to be shook to the core again. He's already motivated to do this. But
Yeah.
so that's a sort of like cut to title. Girl's been knocked down, and he goes back to the hospital, and the mum. For some reason, everyone blames Gideon for all the crime in the city. It was happening anyway. He's trying to help.
I know. I don't get it.
It was the
I just
same.
don't.
It was the same last week. Like, oh, the cop got shot because they went into that building because of you. It's like they would have been in pursuit anyway.
I know, but this is even less his fault, surely.
It is, yeah. Oh, you came and you tried to help, so we felt safer, and now my girl's been knocked down. Shut up, you cow! It's not his fault. There was a criminal rampaging through the park.
I know.
In no
stupid.
way, shape, or form is it his fault. So, bollocks to that. But so that was manipulative, and then it got really manipulative because we get introduced to this dog. This
You knew
police
how this
dog.
was going as soon as there was a dog.
This police dog gets introduced, and the cop's very, very attached to it. He talks about his time in the army and how the dogs seen him through a lot of stuff, presumably using the dogs to find mines and things like
Yeah.
that. But like, you really need an excuse. It's a nice big dog, nice big dog, and they're looking for the car that the suspect had, and they find it, and the dog goes running off towards it. And he starts screaming at the dog, no, don't, whatever the dog's name was. And
Because
I'm like,
the car's on fire.
yeah. And, of course, the car's going to blow up. So it blows up. And I was like, oh, is the dog dead? And it wasn't dead. It was lying there bleeding, and he was hugging it. And everyone was in shock because the dog...
I was almost surprised it wasn't just dead, to be honest.
Well, yeah, you see, but then we don't get the emotional stuff for the rest of the episode where
Nah,
the dog's
it's-
fighting for his life. And then at the end, he's got the fake leg.
I know, but you can have the cop going all, I need justice for this. Vengeance.
I don't think I laughed more in this episode than so. He ends up getting this idea, and I kind of rolled my eyes at this as well. Once again, Murphy decides she has to teach Gideon about police life, like because he's not getting it. So she teaches him about how chasing and how we care about hitting civilians, so the bad guys always have an advantage because they'll just run through it. It's basically the same argument every time Superman's fighting a bad guy. Superman cares about the collateral damage unless it's been directed by Zack Snyder, and that's what the weakness is.
Yeah, pretty much.
But they're over. She takes him home for dinner. It's like, oh, here, meet my mom, billionaire boss. Meet my mom.
That's not forward at all.
Yeah. And the mum jokes after he leaves that there might be a spark there, and she's like, "Oh, shut up!" And like, of course, end of the season they're going to be kissing, maybe more,
Obviously.
but that's definitely happening.
Yeah.
But our son's playing with his toy car. He's got a ski electric set, the tracks, and he's playing with toys, and I'm like, he's going to give him an idea, isn't he?
I know, you can just see it.
He's going to give him an idea, and sure enough, it even gives us that moment where he zones out and he just he hears the words that the kid's saying, but he's just you can
He's
tell
got his
that-
idea. Yeah.
yeah, and he takes off, and I'm like, really, that was the big idea. They need bikes instead of
I know. It
cars.
just seems really obvious, doesn't it?
Like, no one thought of that. But of course, I'm thinking, oh, now we're going to get high tech bikes, and we've already got Drone 2.0, which you already wrecked, by the way. The
Going through these quite quickly.
the tech guy that he's now got at the police station, which is good that they're building up the core cast in the police station, not someone else to like, who used to be a wrestler apparently.
He looks the part.
He does. He's huge, and so they work in these bikes, and they take the bikes out, and that's how they do it. Do you know what my problem with this was? Is that it's the second episode, and I can see the formula already. He's going to try and solve things with technology. It's not going to work. Murphy's going to show him why it doesn't work, and then he's going to have another idea for technology, and that'll help in tandem with what's going on. Do you know what that moment reminded me of? And it's funny, I've never actually seen this show, but I know the formula of the show, so I'm going to reference it. This moment where he got that idea, it's the formula from House. I don't know, have you ever watched an episode of House?
I haven't, but I know what you mean.
You know exactly what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Patient comes in with some weird disease that no one's heard of, or it's rare, whatever. House tries something, doesn't work. Tries a second thing, doesn't work, and almost kills the person. Then someone else will be yelling at him, and mid-sentence he'll just go, wait. And he'll wander off, and he'll go and fix them, because he'll have thought of an idea. That was that moment, where he has the idea.
Yeah, it was.
And that's not to say there's not fun stuff. I liked Ada, the sort of the tech girl. Try to explain to Ernie Hudson all the stuff she was doing, and she was like, it's like Pac-Man, these are the ghosts. And it actually did kill like Pac-Man, honestly, on the map with all the cars. So that was a good thing. He's like, do I look like I play video games? And I'm like, I bet Ernie Hudson does. I bet he's a right little gamer behind closed doors.
He got a promotion as well.
He did, yeah, he's captain now. Ada even joked, he does that a lot, where he just randomly promotes people when he needs to.
Yeah, it's just a strange little thing to have, isn't it? Hey, you take a job, pay rise. Go on, why not?
It's this, my cats are really going at it in the other room.
It was really distracted me a second ago. That's why I lost my train of thought.
They're fighting over a box, so you can probably hear the box like moving around as well as they're hissing and meowing at each other. What's funny though, it's not the one that usually causes trouble. Garrus is on the bed. It's the other two. It's the two slightly older cats who don't fight that much anymore. Like, they used to do it a lot when they were young, but every so often one of them will just get in the other one's nerves, and it's go time. The veterans. Anyway, I'm tangent here.
Yeah, back to the show.
Back to the show. What was I saying? Yeah, we had it's the eccentric billionaire thing, isn't it? He just on a whim does this and does that and spends this X amount of money on that and fixes things. And it's fine. The characters are still kind of fun, and they introduced a new guy, which is cool. I think it's just parts of it are a little bit too on the nose, a bit too cheesy, a bit too hammy. The cop wanting justice for his partner, and I was getting to this actually. The funniest line in the episode for me is when they're building the bikes, or they're fitting the bikes up, and the cop who was attached to the dog and his partner come storming down, and he's like, right, I want to be the one out there getting him. If there's a chance to get justice for my dog, it's like, and the little girl, and the little girl.
It probably cracked me up when they finally caught him. I forgot the guns were tasers temporarily.
Oh, you thought
because
he was going
we
to
hadn't
shoot
seen
him
them.
point blank?
I was just like, he's just going to shoot him for the dog. It cracked me up when it was funnier once I realised, they're just tasers.
Yeah, it's just tasers. They can open fire a bit more.
Yeah. But it cracked me up that he was just going straight for the gun. He was like, I'm going to shoot him. Going to shoot him.
I remember the taser, so I didn't jump to that conclusion.
It hadn't reminded me all episode, so it's not like these shows. They're usually like, remember this.
Oh, I thought the previously on was very in depth.
I ignored the previously on.
It went very in depth to everything that was brought up in the last episode. So you can't complain. It didn't remind me.
No. I mean, they didn't remind me in the episode. Usually, these sorts of shows are like, "Hey, remember this?" Like 3 times.
But still, they didn't remind me of this. 2 seconds later, I ignored the previously on.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, in the episode, not in the previously on. That doesn't count.
Full of bollocks. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't count.
So yeah, the only other thing is Murphy's ex, who we seen one scene last week. apparently he's going to be on a task force. This is like the ending point of the episode. That's going to investigate the district, the police district, because everyone outside the district thinks, oh, this is wrong. They're going to try and come in and ruin it. So this is going to be a, which don't get me wrong, it's nice that there's maybe going to be like an ongoing plot with this where they're trying to interfere and intervene.
It's not going to be a focus enough to care though, is it? It's going to be one little bit, like every 3 episodes or so.
I don't think it will. I think the show would benefit greatly from some sort of like kingpin type character who is like controlling the crime that they're trying to get to, and everything's building.
I guess then it kind of feels a bit hokey.
They've got drones and fancy cars and shit. I mean,
but they're very much just like, oh, look at this crime. Look, it's just a guy stealing some stuff. He's hit a girl. That's it. And I feel like if they added in like a crime boss,
they should though.
They should, but
they should lean even more into RoboCop than they're already. I mean, they've already got the private firm taking over the cops. They've got the slightly high tech stuff. They've got a character called Murphy. All the rest of it, but they should lean into it even more. I'm not saying actually build a robot, cyborg, but
this is good. That's season 3's plot.
I love that they already upgraded the drone and then he smashed it, so it's going to be upgraded again for episode 3, most likely.
And you got the bikes. I'm sure they'll get some fancy upgrades at some point.
That'll be the thing. Every time he gets an idea in every episode, he'll build something new or he'll upgrade something. He'll add an extra thing. And it'll get to the point where we go, why don't you just use what they used like 10 episodes ago for this?
Because they're going to be so decked out.
Yeah. It's going to get really convoluted because, they use the spikes here. I'm sure there's going to be a thing in like 10 episodes' time where it's like, okay, he builds this fancy new thing, but we're going to go, yeah, but the spikes would have worked. You've still got those. Yeah. It's one of those things.
Those roads were conveniently empty as well.
Yeah, what happens if they put the spikes out and then the car went flying into another kid?
Yeah, I mean, it did crash into some other cars.
It did?
What people were in those cars?
Those goddamn cats. We should also definitely mention the opening where Gideon, showing the public that his app works, decides to break into a candy store.
He just smashes the window.
And just in live, real time, shows how long it takes for the cops to arrive with his APB app.
I like that he didn't warn them that he was doing it, though. Like, obviously that makes it more sincere, but the fact that they showed up and they're like, what the goddamn hell are you doing?
Yeah, I love that Murphy's just like, Gideon, what the hell? And the funny thing is we know, okay, he's a billionaire, he's probably just going to pay the owner of the shop. He probably told the owner of the shop beforehand, like, I'm going to do this, but here's 50 grand. That more than covers the window and a couple of lollipops. You're fine. Yeah. And the shop owner's like, oh, I can take a week off. This is great.
Yeah, it's like, well, that window's only going to cost me $1,000 to replace. So yeah, go ahead, do whatever you want.
I'll take the month off even. This is, he's fine with it. But yeah, Murphy looked pissed when she showed up. That was amusing. So the character stuff's fun. It's just it feels like it's going to be too formulaic. It's not going to have the ongoing plot that we like to sort of really digest and chew on and stuff. So if you like cop shows like this, I think it's probably worth your time. But for us who like more serialized shows, this is where we bow out. But it's not a vote of like this is terrible. It's just not
what we're interested in that much.
Yes, but it's a fine example of what it is. So that's APB episode 2. That'll be the last review of that from us. But yeah, so thank you very much for watching. Let us know what you think of the show in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. And by all means, if you keep watching and it does get different and more interesting, or even more wacky, if there's robots and stuff, by all means,
we want to know.
Yeah, let us know, because I will jump back on if there's robots.
We will catch up no matter how much there's been.
Yeah. 5 years time. We're on season 5. Robots have just alright, Connor, right? 4.5 seasons. It's time.
Let's do this.
It's time. But now let us know, and thank you very much for watching. Get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz, like and subscribe and all that stuff. My cats are still chasing each other. So that's been the B plot of this episode. Is the cats fighting. I don't know who's winning. I can't see them.
It's just they appear quite a lot on these videos. If you're a regular, you'll know that.
Yeah.
But this is particularly vicious.
Yeah, this is proper fighting in the background. And I love that Garrus on the bed is just staring intently, because he's so used to being the one causing the fights that he's just enamoured.
He's just waiting to get the blame anyway.
It's like a spectator sport for him right now. It's really quite amusing. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time.